Good, happy Thursday morning, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. It is Thursday, June 6th, 2019. We have a lot of news to get to, so let's begin with the Riley King Newscast. First up, Superior Court Judge state not adequately funding education in 4 districts. A state Superior Court judge said the state is violating the Constitution by not properly funding 4 school districts. The complaint filed on behalf of the Kentucky Valley, Winchester, Maskin, and Monadnock school districts in March stated the education funding they receive from the state isn't enough to provide an adequate education. State lawmakers set that base cost in 2015. The court is now scrutinizing how the legislature arrived at its figure. WMUR political reporter John DeStastos said many school districts in the state, especially those who don't have a lot of property wealth, have always felt funding isn't enough. The judge would not set a new base funding amount, but said he does expect the legislature to fulfill its constitutional obligation. Governor Chris Sununu's office said the state is reviewing the order, saying in a statement, "We continue to believe these critical funding decisions are best left to local elected leaders who represent the people of New Hampshire, not judges in a courtroom." New Hampshire students meet with David Hogg about gun control efforts. Student organized ahead of 2020 elections. A Florida high school student who survived a mass shooting last year spoke about gun violence in New Hampshire yesterday. David Hogg was meeting with students Wednesday who are part of the March for Our Lives movement, which was funded by Hogg and other student survivors of the 2018 shooting at Major Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Hogg said emotions are still raw for his classmates just 16 months after the shooting. The visit was the final stop of a 9-school tour across the country. The March for Our Lives initiative is working to build grassroots support and momentum heading into the 2020 elections. About 24 student organizers met with Hogg at the Manchester Public Library. They said they were excited to meet with Hogg and exchange ideas on how to make positive change in their communities. Sheehan started a chapter of March for Our Lives at his school. The organization with chapters nationwide, encourage young people to engage in the political system. 17 students and teachers were killed in the shooting at Major Stoneman Douglas High School. Hogg has turned the tragedy into activism, calling for gun control and mobilizing young people across the country. Hogg said he's embezzling students to hear their voices, even toward presidential candidates. This week, the deputy sheriff who stayed outside the building as the Parkland shooting unfolded was charged for failing to protect the students. Hogg is on his way to Harvard University in the fall. Socialist issues and politics will remain on focus for him. March for Our Lives has a 10-point plan for gun reform. It includes funding for gun violence research, universal background checks, and a ban on high-capacity magazines. Dow features lower as Wall Street's rally is set to slow. U.S. stock index were muted Thursday morning as Wall Street's rally on hopes of an imminent rate cut from the Federal Reserve's looked set to slow. Ohio doctor charged with 25 counts of murdering patients with fatal dose of pain medication. An Ohio doctor has been charged with 25 counts of murder for allegedly ordering fatal doses of pain medication for patients while working as a critical care physician. And that does it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Thursday, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.